What if I told you, no contact isn't the knockout punch you think it is? You think cutting her off is going to leave her wrecked. You believe that walking away in silence is your final power move, that your absence is going to echo in her heart like a scream she can't ignore. But here's the uncomfortable truth most men ignore. She's seen this before. She's felt this silence before. She's expected it. She may have even planned for it. Because no contact on its own has become predictable. It's not power. It's the default setting. And predictable never breaks ego. If anything, it confirms hers. She'll tell herself, he's still reacting. He's still hurting. He's still trying to make me feel something. And as long as she believes that, she still thinks she has control. You're not here for that. You're not here to be predictable. You're here to reclaim every piece of yourself that you gave away. This video isn't about petty silence. It's not about waiting for her to come crawling back. This is about a deeper game, the one that doesn't just shatter her fantasy, but crushes her ego into dust. Not with words, not with revenge, but with stillness so sharp, so unbothered, it becomes a mirror she can't escape. You want real power? You want to break her ego for good? Then listen up, because silence alone is not the weapon. Indifference is. Let's begin. 1. Stop playing the role she wrote for you. You think no contact breaks her. It doesn't. Because in her mind, you're still playing the role she scripted for you. You're still the guy who waits, who watches, who spirals in silence. She may have cut you off, ghosted you, or played games. But she did it all expecting you to become the version of yourself that's easy to forget, the one who makes her look right for leaving. And if you sit in silence while still obsessing over her, if you cut off contact but secretly wait for her to notice, you've just given her ego another win. Understand this. You don't win by disappearing. You win by vanishing, not just from her phone, but from the emotional battlefield she built in your head. You're not grieving her. You're grieving the idea of her, the version you built up in your mind, the woman who got you, who made you feel seen. But what did she really do? She left. She manipulated. She triggered your wounds and called it love. It's time to burn that illusion. Tear down the pedestal. Stop remembering her as someone rare. She's not. She wasn't your soulmate. She was your lesson. And that lesson? Stop worshipping potential. Stop romanticizing people who played with your worth. She didn't break you. She exposed the parts of you that still needed boundaries. She revealed the cracks you ignored, the blind spots you excused, the self-betrayal you labeled as love. And once you see that, really see it, you'll realize her power dies the moment you stop seeing her as powerful. She no longer lives rent-free in your head. She becomes irrelevant to your growth. And when that happens, her ego takes its first hit, and it doesn't recover. No contact is the first move, but it's not the end game. Because if your silence is still rooted in pain, in hope, in confusion, she'll feel that. She won't feel punished. She'll feel validated. You think you're being strong because you're not texting, but she's watching your energy, the cryptic stories, the thirst trap gym pics, the motivational quotes laced with pain. She sees it all, and every time you try to show her what she lost, you confirm she still matters. That's not power. That's proof. Proof that you're still wounded, that she's still in control. So what do? You stop broadcasting. You don't post for her. You don't share to prove anything. You let silence be your strategy, but only when it's paired with power. Because when silence becomes confidence, when it becomes peace, that's when she can't read you anymore. That's when her ego starts asking questions. Why doesn't he care? Why does this feel different? Why does it feel like I've lost something I'll never touch again? Silence isn't a game, it's a void. And when she looks into that void and sees no emotional residue, no trace of the man who needed her, that's when she breaks, not because you said anything, but because you said nothing and meant it. And that silence, it doesn't just confuse her, it exposes her, it strips her control, it ends her fantasy. She realizes too late that your absence is not noise, it's a warning. Most men treat no contact like a waiting room. They sit, they wait, they check the door, hoping she'll walk through. But that mindset? It's weakness wrapped in false hope. No contact isn't a timeout, it's a rebirth. This is where you train in silence, where you build something so powerful she wouldn't even recognize the man who's emerging. You take the pain she caused and turn it into momentum. Not to get her back, not to make her jealous, but because you refuse to let heartbreak define your future. You hit the gym like it owes you answers. You build your business like your life depends on it. You master your routine, your finances, your focus. You rebuild the man beneath the wreckage. Because while she's out chasing attention, trying to replace what she lost, you're building a version of yourself that no one can replace. That's not a comeback, that's a resurrection. And when she hears about you through mutuals, when she sees your name and feels that unfamiliar sting of regret, she'll realize she didn't just lose the old you. She lost access to the new you, forever. And that version of you? He doesn't even remember what it felt like to need her. He remembers how it felt to rise alone. And that memory is power. That silence you built in, it became your crucible, and she was never invited back. Let her wonder. Let her check your story and find nothing. Let her reach out into the silence and feel no one. You don't post revenge pics. You don't try to flex. You just live. You move in silence so loud that it echoes in her ego. You don't have to prove anything, because the man you're becoming doesn't broadcast. He builds, he evolves, he conquers. And when she scrolls through your feed, looking for evidence that you still care and finds only peace, that's when it hits her. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost a version of you she'll never access again. And the best part, you didn't try to hurt her. You just stopped needing her. You stopped dancing to her emotional music. And in that silence, she hears the end of her power. That's what ego death sounds like, not an explosion. A quiet vacuum that reminds her she no longer matters here. The void doesn't beg, the void doesn't post, the void just moves on. No contact was step 1, becoming unreachable. That's step 2, because when a woman can no longer predict you, when she can no longer measure your reactions, your feelings, your attachment, that's when her ego starts to panic. She's not scared of silence, she's scared of uncertainty. And when you become a mystery, calm, grounded, untouchable, she no longer knows how to play the game. You're not bitter, you're not broken, you're just gone, not missing, evolved, because you've stopped trying to be chosen. You've already chosen yourself. And that man, the one who isn't driven by validation, who walks in purpose, who carries peace like a weapon, that man can't be replaced. Not in her mind, not in her life, not in this lifetime. No contact isn't enough. It opens the door. But what you do after, that's what defines everything. You disappear into greatness, into discipline, into purpose. And when she finally looks back, she won't recognize the man she walked away from. Because you're not there anymore. You're above it. You're untouchable. If you're ready to stop being haunted, if you're done playing checkers in her emotional playground and ready to start playing chess in silence, like this video, subscribe and comment below. I rise without a sound, because this isn't just about silence. This is about power, real, masculine, stoic, unshakable.